Two big drug stories. Johnson & Johnson is recalling more of its over-the-counter drugs, and the FDA is once again raising questions about the safety of Avandia, a diabetes drug taken by nearly 2 million people. Here to talk about these stories, GMA medical contributor Dr. Marie Savard. Thanks so much for joining us. I want to begin with Avandia. There have been questions about its safety and whether it can lead to heart attacks for years now, going back to 2007. Why is the FDA reopening this case now?
That's true, but be honest, so many people are taking this drug thinking that they're lowering their risk of heart attack, which is the most common complication of diabetes. They're looking at it now because the FDA themselves have not fully agreed on the safety issues. There's a lot of new data, and there's been some question of whether this most recent industry-sponsored study is also not really interpreted correctly.
And we should note that heart failure has long been a recognized problem that has gone with Avandia. The question is Avandia a higher risk than other diabetes drugs, yes?
That's right. Heart failure, really related to the fluid retention, has been well-known risk already. But there have been 12 studies over the past 3 years that have shown, many of them, that there could be an increased risk of heart attack, stroke, and even death. So we really need to look at this, and that's what the FDA is doing this week.
Well, Avandia's maker, GlaxoSmithKline, released a statement in response to these new documents released by the FDA. And here the statement says, since 2007, we have seen results from 6 controlled clinical trials looking at the cardiovascular safety of Avandia. And together they show that this medicine does not increase the overall risk of heart attack, stroke, or death. Yet you mentioned the other studies by the FDA. Some of them are conflicting. What do people at home that are taking this drug, relying on it, well, what should they do? And what should their doctors do?
Common sense. First of all, sometimes clinical studies are not accurate. It's how they're interpreted, how big they are. There can be a lot of issues. A large observational study just this month reported a significant concern, especially for older people. I think people should take caution, talk to their doctors about it. I'm really concerned about this drug.
Well, the FDA's findings will be released Wednesday, I believe. What do you expect them to say and conclude this time around?
I think they need to conclude that clinical safety or concerns about clinical safety should take the place of certainty around clinical studies. Patient safety first.
And that comes next week. I do want to move on to the recall of the Johnson & Johnson products. Tylenol, Benadryl, Motrin, they're being removed from shelves. What's going on here?
This is part of the same thing that's been happening all year. So I think people shouldn't totally take great alarm. Again, there's no safety concerns that have been expressed. What this is the wooden pallets where the plastic bottles are stored have released some kind of chemical that has caused a musty odor in the bottles. So this is just McNeil Pharmaceuticals taking these products off the market because of the smell, not because of safety concerns.
So if people still have them at home, they can still use it. It just may not be smelling pleasant. Is that what you're saying?
No. I think what people should do is go through their medicine cabinets and get rid of any of the medicines that are included in that recall. But on the other hand, if anyone has taken those medicines or look back and see that they've taken them, I think they can rest assured that it's likely safe. But again, we don't entirely know what the issues are because there have been a lot of quality controls that have been expressed and concerns around it. And that's disappointing for a company where we've all...
Right. We rely on these drugs almost on a daily basis for allergies, headaches, everything. Well, always better to be safe here.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us, Dr. Marie Savard. We appreciate it.